Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time, welcome to my channel. I am coming to you live to, actually, I will tell you I'm coming from Orlando. And it's very dreary out, but I can tell you that probably a lot of people up north, yes, it is 70 degrees. And it's raining, or at least it was raining. So I wanted to come here live today and talk about employment in Florida. Employment in Florida seems to be a little on the unpromising side. Some people might disagree, but you have to agree to disagree. So what I mean by that is I have been here because I traveled from Alabama to Tennessee and to Florida, but that's not all the travel, but this is per conversation here. So I have traveled from Tennessee back down to Florida, and this was like over 30 days ago, and I had 2 interviews already in concrete, set up, like I'm driving to you, we're gonna talk. It was great drive, fun seeing the scenery, but it didn't pan out the way that I really thought it would have. And what I mean by that is, for the last 30 days, I have either filled out or been to or on the phone with over a dozen employers. Now, some of them I applied for, and some of them came from my resume online. I'm on 3 different job boards, been on 3 different job boards since 2014. I suggest Indeed all the time. I highly suggest that. Other job boards, great, fabulous, hope they work for you. But I'm telling you, Indeed is the most precise job board that there is out there for 9-to-5ers. So I'm on other job boards other than 9-to-5ers. Oh, I have to have a job. I have to make my bills. I have to make my car note. I have to make my mortgage. Great. You're living to work. That's it. You're not living to live. So I digress with that comment, because some people like that. Some people they thrive on working to have things that are materialistic, that only make a difference within the moment or for a few years, until you get sick of it and then you change it. And that includes jobs. So back to Florida. Florida has, which I know most of you probably know, that you can Google the unemployment rate in Florida. The COVID rate is not as bad as it was a year ago as of today. Now, I'm just speaking of Florida now. So here's the thing. Like I said, I've been over a dozen. And, they call upon you and they say, oh, we're hiring for such and such position. So, we'd like to bring you in for an interview, blah, blah, blah. They really don't tell you much over the phone. They wait till you get there. Why I'm being so sarcastic with that is because I've been to a few interviews already that I had full hopes on. I know the area and I know that I'm going to get this job and it's going to be great. And, I'm sorry, we're only hiring for as needed. Or we're only hiring for, part-time. We're trying to fill in for people that are on vacation. So it's only a temporary thing. And then, you can't really guarantee the hours. But then on the other side, there's the extreme. I went to UPS. I was hired. I went to orientation. And they specifically said that it is required to work 6 days a week 10 hours plus a day. And this is, of course, because it's season. It's the season. It's seasonal work, or not seasonal work, but the season for this extensive hours. So I'm going to make a video on how to become, or how to be, how to live like a truck driver. Really? Yes, really. Reason being is because 90% of my knowledge still stands as of today. I was a truck driver from 2015 to 2018. Yes, there's probably people out there going, shit, girl, I was a truck driver for 20 years. Still same shit, different day. So the unemployment rate was kind of like, it was disappointing to know that these jobs do not hire, like, offers on the spot. Let me touch on that. Offers on the spot. Okay, so I went to 2 of them, and I drove 56 miles to Daytona Beach for a on-the-spot position. And I never got a call back. Guess what? I got a call back 20 days later. They want to know if I'm still hired or interested in the position. I went through the COVID test, the screening. I went through the assessment test. I went through the tour, and they said, okay, well, Human Resources is going to call you to set up a time, and they never did. And here it is 20 days later, and the lady calls, and she's completely like, oh my God, are you serious? It's been 20 days since you've been here. Like, she didn't know. So that was another thing. Okay, so they don't do, for some reason, this area within a 50, 60 mile radius that I have been to, the employment is not promised here in Florida. It is a right to work state. Okay. You don't pay employment taxes, like on your paycheck. Some states have state tax. I don't have state tax here. So, that's one of the benefits. So I went to UPS. I went to US Foods. I've been to Publix. I've been to a couple of nursing facilities. I've been to, oh my God, like I lost count. Big Lots, Target. I mean, I've been to all kinds of places. And for some reason, none of them stick. And no, there are reasons why they don't stick, because I've got a friend of mine that's actually harping on me about, I can't believe you're not employed yet. Dude, do you really want me to work 60 to 70? I mean, would you work 60 to 70 hours a week and kill yourself doing the job that you weren't even trained for because it says no experience needed, because what they're going to do is train you a little bit and then throw you to the wolves. You're kind of like that Play-Doh, they throw you at the wolves, they throw you out there and they see if you stick. And it's kind of like you're a dime a dozen. And I don't want to have a job, and I don't want anybody else to have a job that's like, you're just another number, or you could be replaced tomorrow. It doesn't really help the motivation of staying at a job. So I started looking at seasonal work last year. And so this year I've worked at 2 Amazons for seasonal work. Now, the first one, the hours were a little bit crazy. They weren't like, like the repetition of hours. It was part-time. And then the second one was full-time. But man, that was hard on me. That was 5:30 at night. Or no, 5:30 or 6:30 at night until 5 in the morning. Dude, by 2 o'clock in the morning, I was sleeping standing up. Yeah, I ain't no lying. I was. I was. So it was very hard on my body to work those wee hours. And so, I couldn't really find a medium up there either. So I started doing my photography. I started doing, gig life. And, I started learning ASL. I started learning photography. I started learning guitar. I started to do things outside of, I feel like I have to have a job. I have to have a job. I'm not fulfilled unless I have a job. But there's so much more out there than just working a job. So I did a little video last night on Facebook saying that, you need to find something that makes you happy. Do something that makes you happy. Find 30 minutes a day to, stop and really look around. Like for example, at the sunset, when the sun starts setting, look at the tree. Look at the sunbeams that are the rays that are coming through those branches and those leaves that are just weighing in the wind. And in the mornings, the birds, they're chirping. What kind of birds? Probably two or three different type of birds while you watch the sunrise. And if you're a coffee drinker like I am, you really want to have some usa, some quiet time to actually be able to wake up. So the employment has been very, very dissatisfying. I'm very disappointed. So I've been doing Uber Eats, which I've been doing Uber Eats for over a year now. And, I'm cityfied, which kind of bothers me because I got so used to being into nature. And so I had an opportunity to work for Yellowstone. But I looked at the weather. Now, you're talking to a Floridian here, okay? So I looked at the weather, and I was halfway there, and I looked at the weather, and it says that it's going to be 14 degrees at the time that Google says I'm going to show up. 14 degrees. No. No, and it was just going to get worse, and it did, because if you are a weather buff, or if you watch the weather October and early November, and actually mid-November, right before Thanksgiving, there's a bunch of snowstorms, okay, and it really didn't pan out. I would have never survived up there at those temperatures. So I have been looking for employment outside of Florida for the last 3 days, and I have called people after I put the application in and try to find the status. Oh, and by the way, another one for Florida is Whole Foods. Okay, Whole Foods. Whole Foods did it's kind of like Fresh Market. Whole Foods did a Indeed ad for 2 weeks. So I called after a week, and I talked to this gentleman that does the hiring in this certain part of that store. And he says, oh no, well, we're waiting for the 2 weeks out. We're waiting until the 2 weeks is up that we put the ad in, and then we'll start sifting through the applications and applicants, and then we'll start calling people. People can't wait. When people are looking for employment, they want to be employed. They want to work. Yes, there's a big, massive problem in the United States where people don't want to work. I understand that. But I'm one that wants to work. None of them have done any sort of, I see your work ethic, you seem like a great person, you got great references, you got a great work track record, and you're fully available, and you have no kids, and you have no obligations, and yet I'm still not fully employed. The job that I did have for a few days was very unorganized, and they had no idea what they were going to do with me. And so I just started to unload a truck. I was unloading semis, or the trailers. So I was unloading the trailers. And the first day, I did too much